Hi, everyone. Welcome to Be Different for Success. Today, we'll be talking about how to build self-confidence. There are a million different resources and pieces of advice out there from experts on how to build confidence, particularly self-confidence. A vulnerable and anxious population consumes this guidance like they are starving for it. Probably because they are. The dream of overcoming all fear and self-imposed limits by simply reading some advice is a very tempting dish indeed. After a lifetime of images and ideals that they cannot possibly live up to, people start to feel like they are less than. This fear of being a substandard human being drives some of us to seek guidance that connects us with the murky, overcrowded world of self-help products and services. Look, some of the stuff out there is good. I know. I've tried most of it. However, some of it is very misguided and even delusional. People who lack self-confidence can take a class on basic theoretical knowledge of psychological research and use it to excrete volumes of garbage about how to build self-esteem and confidence. They then charge copious amounts of money for this drivel, which usually makes you feel great temporarily, but does absolutely nothing to change your long-term situation. I'm not going to pretend I know it all, yet what I do have to offer is that I have completed the full journey, from shy, nice, and trying to please everyone, to where I am now. You may ask, where is that? And what does being confident mean to me? It means that these things now occur in my life where they didn't before. I regularly seek out opportunities to push boundaries and expand my comfort zone, running towards fear rather than away from it. I can go into a situation full of anxiety and quickly push through that to enable me to feel competent and at ease. I feel comfortable being honest in all situations. Rather than hide my views, I express them calmly and diplomatically where required, but also without compromise. I place my needs above everything else. I am selfish about developing my life and inner self, because I know that ultimately the people in my life will benefit from me being a better person. Most importantly, I can't remember the last time I felt jealousy or envy, and it's been many, many years since I entertained the idea of wanting to be anyone else. So how did I get to this from being a nice guy that did all I could to avoid confrontation and anxiety-provoking situations? Well, it wasn't easy. I have broken down the steps I took to achieve this in order to help others who are serious about developing true, unbreakable inner confidence. See, the secret is really no secret at all. It's about constantly taking action in a way that pushes your comfort zone further out until you learn how to make any situation feel like it's in your comfort zone. Below are 9 ways to build unbreakable confidence from the outside in. Number 1. Identifying your ultimate dream lifestyle. Something that is a real confidence drainer is not knowing where you're going in life. The great thing is you don't even need to be sure about it. You just need to have a direction to travel in. Try taking 30 minutes to write down a descriptive paragraph or two about what your life would look like if you could wave a magic wand and choose anything. I found that answering these 4 questions in detail is a great structure to use. Number 1. What will you have? Number 2. What will you be doing? Number 3. How would other people describe you? Number 4. What will you think about yourself? Write down the detailed answers to these questions and use emotional and descriptive language. Once you've done this, make sure you reread it regularly, at least twice per week, to remind yourself consistently about why you are getting out of bed. This will increase your sense of purpose in life, a reason to live in a way which will increase your confidence. Of course, to actually achieve this dream lifestyle, there are further steps you need to take. Number 2. Writing down goals and striving to achieve them. I remember reading about a study at Oxford University. Researchers asked all students in a class to write down their long-term goals. I can't remember the exact details, but only about 3% of them did this. When the researchers revisited the students 20 years later, The small group who had written down goals were earning a combined income that was greater than the combined income of all 97% of their classmates. There are plenty of free resources out there on how to write goals. The general key I recommend is, rather than write out outcome-based goals, example, I will get a promotion, try writing action-based goals that are under your control. Example, I will take a management course and then apply for a promotion. By making sure the goals are under your control, your confidence is not subject to luck. Remove luck by making sure that nothing and no one can affect the achievement of your goal except for you. Number 3. Reading popular self-development books by successful business people. While there are far too many refuse bin-worthy self-development books out there, your safest bet is to read the memoirs and how-to books written by people who have actually achieved something. It really is simple. If someone like Richard Branson is a billionaire, he's probably a pretty reliable source of information on how to make money. It's much better to listen to him than someone fresh from completing an MBA and sharing a bunch of inexperienced theory-based conjecture. Number 4. Learning how to manage your state of mind. Usually the reason you feel anxious or nervous about a situation, such as public speaking, is because you're in the wrong frame of mind. Imagine this. You've been studying accounting for 3 straight hours without interruption, when all of a sudden you're dragged to a party. Straight away you feel anxiety, even though going to a party is not an unusual situation for you. So what's the problem? Your brain was set into the studying state, which is secluded, quiet, and antisocial. You are then thrown into a situation which requires you to be extroverted, talkative, and social. This is a really uncomfortable imbalance for your brain to handle. The solution? Taking baby steps. When you are feeling anxious about an upcoming situation and you suspect that it is because of being in the wrong state, try to figure out some in-between steps you can take. Using our example above, rather than going straight to the party, you could have a chat on the phone with some close friends, followed by pre-drinks at your house with just a few people. This way, by the time you get to the party, your state has gone from withdrawn to outgoing in easy-to-manage steps. Number 5. Understanding the balance between learning, mentoring, and action. One of the most common barriers to success is too much thinking and not enough doing. It's the doing that builds confidence, not the learning. As a general rule, for every hour you spend reading or watching videos, passive learning, you should complement this with 2 hours of mentoring or coaching, and 7 hours practicing or otherwise taking action. It's the 10-20-70 rule. Number 6. Approaching strangers. This is one of the scariest things for people to do. Very few can do it sober without a background in cold calling or sales. Doing this is a really powerful way to build confidence, particularly if you're single and approaching strangers with the intention of potential romance. If you can get yourself to do this sober and during the day, it makes everything else seem a lot less scary. You can learn to love rejection as the learning and feedback experience it really is. Number 7. Trying new things regularly. Having a routine can kill your creativity and make your life boring. It's important to seek new adventures and always try new things regularly because it can boost your confidence. Confidence is also described as conscious competence, which basically means that if you are doing something that you are skilled at and you know that you are skilled, you feel confident. Number 8. Surrounding yourself with successful people. Successful people always say, "How can we do this?" Whereas unsuccessful people generally say, "Why should we do this?" What kind of people do you spend the most time with? Until you develop a strong inner core of confidence that others cannot touch, you need to surround yourself with can-do people in order to feed on their confidence. People showing you that anything is possible and that they believe you are capable of anything will go a long way towards helping you believe this yourself. Number 9. Making a conscious effort to stop caring about others' opinions of you. Finally, the biggest lesson I ever learned about developing true all-around confidence is that the only person I should compare myself to is myself. There is nothing to be gained in comparing myself to others or trying to live up to others' expectations. Confidence comes from setting your own expectations of yourself and then trying your best to live up to them. I'm not saying that you shouldn't compete with others, because that's a great motivator too, but your results and progress should only be measured against your past self. In conclusion, there's a million other things you can do, but I am sure that if you start with this list and take action rather than just read this and do nothing, then you will start to see big changes in how you feel about yourself. Which one of the above 9 ways to build unbreakable confidence resonated most with you, and why? Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. Please click the thumbs up and write your personal tips in the comments below. Thank you for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you want to hear more from us. See you in the next video.